Today, a video was recommended by China's NetEase news platform. The content is an Indian official and a host discussing the topic of electric vehicles. The female host question is how India can lead the green travel revolution, and the official said that India's electric vehicles are 5 years behind China. This video shocked Chinese netizens on the Chinese internet, and everyone left a message. So this is how Indians see the world. Let's watch this 6-minute video below, and I will make a brief comment at the end.
I remember when I heard you speak a few months ago in Bangalore, you spoke about how the internal combustion engine is a dead technology and that India's future is electric. You also urged the automobile industry to transition to 100% electric mobility in 2- and 3-wheelers by 2030. So, how can this really happen in terms of actioning this? How do you think India's journey towards becoming a global leader in green mobility should play out?
So Chandra, first and foremost, we must be clear that, look at the global scenario. The United States has imposed 100% duty on import of vehicles from China. 100% duty is, in the history of tariffs has never been seen before. Europe has imposed a 45% duty from China. Now, if you look at the movement of EVs, China is more than 50% EV. Europe is 23% EV. US is about 10%, and India is just 2%. Just 2%. Our manufacturers are 5 years behind the curve. If they were up to date today, India would be the biggest exporter of EVs to the United States and to Europe with 100% and 45% duties. So we need to accelerate the pace. The disruption will be so rapid and so fast towards electric in the next 5 to 6 years that India needs to go, to my mind, not 30% electric, but minimum 60% electric by 2030. And we need to go 100% electric by 2035. We need to do this because 42 of your 50 cities are the most polluting cities of India. And without the transportation sector being tightened up, and you need to bring disruption through policy changes. You need to tighten the CAFE norms. You need to ensure that only auto should be, the 2-wheelers and 3-wheelers should all go 100% electric in these 42 cities. Without this, India will be, it's like saying that we'll be selling typewriters in a digital age. That's not possible anymore. It's important for India to technologically leapfrog in automobile manufacturing, in battery manufacturing, and in fast chargers, interoperable fast chargers across the country. Without this, we lose out in the automobile revolution because in India, 7% of the GDP comes from the automobile sector. We employ close to about 34 million people in the automobile sector. We've been a champion. There's a technological shift taking place across the world. If India doesn't do this, you lose out the market across the world. You will not be able to export. And therefore, massive disruption by the industry is required and to global size and scale. And this is critical. And I'm making this point because the industry is sitting here, industry is 5 years behind the curve.
Wow, you sound pretty angry, Mr. Khan. But why do you think we are 5 years behind the curve? Because if I look at the numbers, compared to where we were a few years ago, I think till November of 2024, EV sales, at least in the 2-wheeler space, has crossed 1 million. So the scale and volume is still there.
Don't go by numbers. Look at the percent. What is the percent? Less than 2%. What is your size and scale of India? What are you talking? Your analysis is all wrong. 2%. China is about 60% now. We launched the PLI on automobile PLI and battery PLI in 21. Not a single paisa of disbursement has taken place till now. The government has shown its intent.
Why do you think the industry is falling behind? When you say
Industry is
5 years, it's a very strong statement.
Look around the world what is happening. The scale at which the transformation is taking place. If 100% duties are being imposed across the world, that India should have been benefited. If the world is moving away from China, then who is the next beneficiary of that change? It should automatically be India. India is a trusted partner. Indian exports of EV, two-wheelers, fast chargers, cars, etc. should have penetrated Europe and America by now.
So is this a capital issue? Is it an R&D issue? Is it a technology issue?
It's an entrepreneur issue.
It's an intent issue.
It's an entrepreneur issue of looking 5 years ahead of the curve, not behind the curve. We should have done this much earlier, much faster, much quicker. And I'm making this point because the world is going EV. The world is going EV because the world is looking at 1.5 degrees centigrade. You can't live in a country where 42 of your cities are amongst the 50 most polluting cities of the world. You're creating a chaos and a havoc for the citizens of India. And that's happening because of the transportation sector as well. So the transportation sector of India, young entrepreneurs must take the lead.
I'm sure the industry is listening, sir.
And you can't make yourself dependent on China for batteries and for fast chargers. You have to manufacture in India. You have to. And I appreciate all the startups who've driven this. I appreciate many startups who took the lead in EV. I appreciate many of the startups who started making EV chargers in India and making them interoperable.
Right. But more needs to be done.
10x more needs to be done.
It's finally over. To be honest, I'm really shocked. I always thought that Indian media, such as Pocky Sharma of First Post, brag and belittle China for traffic. When they discuss national development strategies internally, they should be serious. I didn't expect the Indian female host to start discussing India's leadership of the green travel revolution. I don't understand what she is referring to as leadership. What is the basis? Whether it is electric vehicles or electric motorcycles, India is at least 20 years behind China, but their officials think it is 5 years behind China. What I want to ask is, can India produce qualified power batteries within 5 years? Can India produce qualified 3 electric systems within 5 years? Do Indian companies have self-developed autonomous driving systems? Or can India produce important components such as LiDAR and high-definition cameras? How many charging piles has India installed so far? How many electric vehicles are sold every year? Is it more than China's monthly sales? This official asked for made in India. What is it made of? Cow dung and Modi's mantra? You yourself said that India's share of the world's electric vehicle market is 2%, and China is close to 60%. So, is there any country that can increase the global share of a complex high-tech product by 25 to 30 times in 5 years? If there is, this country can only be China. I am very surprised at the entrepreneurs in the audience. When this stupid official said that India's backwardness was caused by enterprises, why didn't you ask him? Shouldn't the Indian government start planning the electric vehicle industry like China more than a decade ago? From the first day Modi came to power, he boasted about replacing China as the world's manufacturing center. What has India made in the past decade? Cow dung? To be honest, this country is completely hopeless. It is better to raise pigs than to raise such officials. The title of this conference, Green Bharat, should be changed to Green Fantasy.